Last week we were shocked and devastated on hearing of the tragic killing and murder of Amit Ben Yigal, an Israeli soldier 21 years old from the Golani Brigade, who lost his life when a rock was hurled at his head. There was a striking image that came about at the time of the Levaya. Obviously, surrounded by family and friends, an outpouring of grief, shock, dismay, sorrow, and yet the image was of all of them wearing masks at the time of their outpouring of their grief. The masks were to protect them from the threat of coronavirus. But it occurred to me that there is a far greater threat that is posed and threatens Israel's well-being. And that is the threat of disunity, the threat of animosity, the fact that we are not united but we are divided because we have different beliefs. We have different priorities, and therefore we have in Israel, instead of us having a sense of fraternity and unity, we have more and more a sense of divisiveness and disunity between Sephardi, Ashkenazi, Haredi, Chiloni, Dati Leumi, and so many more different factions. And there is nothing wrong. The Jewish people have always had their differences. We have always had diversity, but the question is, what do we do with it? Are we able to respect the differences and love each other despite of that? Or do the differences stand in our way? There was a story many years ago about a kibbutz in Israel where they had a building project. A road was going to go through that would be able to be one of the arteries connecting them with a highway. And they, of course, wanted to get it done. And so it had been arranged that this artery would be built, this road would be built 7 days a week. And so it was on Shabbat that they carried on building. Now, there was an Orthodox, a religious settlement nearby. And they heard that there was this building going on, not just on weekdays, but even on Shabbat, and they couldn't take it. The State of Israel had just been founded. And of course, being idealists, they couldn't take the fact that there was going to be a building project desecrating the Shabbat authorized by the government. So they came down and they started having a rather heated discussion. And eventually, two of the big guys from each side sized each other up and were prepared to do battle and to fight. They rolled up their sleeves, one from the secular kibbutz and one from the Orthodox, the religious Yeshuv settlement. And as they rolled up their sleeves and they went to make fists with each other, they both noticed that they had a number on each other's arms. Each of them recognized that they were Holocaust survivors. And it was at that moment that from fists, they transformed it into hugs and embraces of love and brotherhood. It shouldn't take tragedies for us to recognize that our greatest strength is the fact that we are one nation, one people, one family. It's something that we should think about, be it in London or be it in Israel, to embrace and to recognize that we have so much more that unites us than divides us. Please God, we should be able to always overlook the differences and to embrace the principles, the values, and the future destiny that unites us. Wishing everyone Shabbat Shalom.